Hey there, boys and girls. Welcome to your Ed Puzzle homework tonight, dealing with test prep number 4. So tonight on our bingo boards, we're going to be working on those blue numbers that you see in the video. So make sure as we're doing that bonus box at the end, you're filling in the blue one. Also make sure as we're going through and answering these questions, you use your Ed Puzzle Journal to help you write down your work. And then you're also going to be coloring in your numbers the correct color based on your key. All right, so our first question tonight is question 26. It says select all the expressions that are equal to 1,680. So go ahead and take a second and work those out and see which ones of those are equal to that number. All right, very good. If you went through and solved all of these, which is probably a really good idea to check all of them because it says you got to pick all of the expressions, okay? As you go through and solve these, now notice what I did here was I didn't try to do 70 times 24. I know we've talked a lot about place value this year, and if I cover up this 0, this really just says 7 times 24. And I know if I go through and solve that, when I'm all done at the end, I've got to make sure I push my number back over and put that 0 at the end. That way it's in the right place value spots then. So I said 7 times 20 is 140. Then I also did 7 times 4, so I did 7 times the first part and 7 times the second part. Then I combined those, that's the idea of partial products. I combined those two answers together to get 168. And remember what I said, though, I covered up a 0 here at the beginning, which means I got to go put one on my answer at the end. So that first expression matches 1,680. So I should have said that one is correct. If I go through and do the next one, again, I didn't try to do 40 times 46. I covered up the 0 here too. I also covered it up here and here and here, because then that takes this from being a 2-digit times a 2-digit down to a 1-digit times a 2-digit. And we can do those pretty well. So I did 4 times 40 again, got 160. I did 4 times 6 and got 24. Again, I'm just doing the parts. 4 times 40, 4 times 6. Then I combine those answers together at the end, and I got to make sure, since I covered up a 0 here, I got to make sure I put my 0 at the end. That does not match, so I should not have said that was correct. Okay, I go through and do the next one. 56 times, and I didn't do 30, I did 3 because I covered up that 0 again. 50 times 3 is 150. 6 times 3 is 18. Combine those together for that partial products. Got to make sure you put your 0 back on that you covered up. And I only covered up 1 0, so I only have to put 1 back on my answer. And that matches the top number I wanted to look at. So I should have picked that one. Looking at the next one, 42 times 4. I did 40 times 4, which is 160. I did 2 times 4. So again, like I said earlier, just doing the parts. 40 times 4, 2 times 4. Okay, combine those together, got 168. Covered up a 0 at the beginning, so I got to make sure I put 1 on my answer at the end. Again, that matches the number at the top at the beginning, so I should have clicked on that one as well. And then the last one is 33 times 5, so I did 30 times 5 and 3 times 5. Combine those together. I covered up my 1 0 at the beginning, so I got to make sure I put my 0 back on at the end. And that one does not match the top number, 1,680. So I would not have clicked on that one. So there should have been 3 correct answers for that one. So make sure you color in your bingo chart like you're supposed to. And let's move on to the next one here. So question 22 is the next one. It says a shape is shown. You're going to select all of the angles in the shape that appear to be acute. Okay. So as you go through here, remember, an acute angle is going to be smaller than 90 degrees. Okay. A 90-degree angle looks like a capital L. So if I were to take this capital L and put it on all of these angles, which ones would be smaller than 90? Yeah, as we go through and look at these, I can see angle A here. So here's my first arm for A, and it wraps to there. I can see that my 90-degree, that red bar, is lined up on one of the arms for A, and I can see that the other one just goes a little bit past the arm for angle A, which means it's a little bit inside of 90 degrees, which means angle A is acute. Okay. Now I'm going to look down here at angle B. And again, here's angle B. It's that big one there. Okay, and angle B goes a lot farther than that 90-degree red angle. So I'm not going to say angle B is acute because it's a lot bigger, which means it would be obtuse. Okay. Now I'm looking over here at angle C, and I can see that angle C goes bigger than that 90-degree arm. So again, if it's bigger than that 90 degrees, it's not going to be acute. It's going to be obtuse. So I'm not going to pick on C. I can see down here that D is inside of that red arm. So it's going to be acute because it's less than 90. So D would work as well. Okay, and then I'm going to look over here at E, and I see that E's angle goes past that 90-degree arm, which means it's going to be bigger, which means if it's bigger than 90 degrees, it's not acute, it's obtuse. So there only should have been 2 angles there that you said were acute. Okay, so make sure you color in your bingo board right for that one. All right, question 3 here says, Sarah is mixing orange juice and pineapple juice for a picnic, as shown in the table. She wants to know how many cups of each juice there will be. Complete the table to show how many cups of orange juice and pineapple juice Sarah needs. So again, you're trying to figure out how many cups are in 6 pints and how many are in 2 quarts. All right, like we said earlier, if you have the conversions there to help you, make sure you use them. Then this just turns back into multiplication. So if you know that there are 2 cups in 1 pint, you're trying to figure out 6 pints now. Well, that would be 6 groups or 6 pints. So really, you're just trying to do 6 groups. Every group has 2 cups. That means 6 times 2 would be 12 cups. Then you're looking down here at quarts, and you know that 1 quart has 4 cups. So you're trying to do 2 quarts. So you would have 2 groups of 4, which would be 8. Again, if you've got those conversions in front of you, make sure you're using them. Then it just turns back into a multiplication problem. So make sure you fill in your bingo board for that one. All right, question 46 says, models of 2 equivalent fractions are shown. You need to pick the statement that describes or tells you how fraction 2 can be created from fraction 1. All right, so when I look up here at fraction 1, I see that it says 1 piece is colored in out of 4, which means this fraction would look like this. When I look over at fraction 2, I see that 3 pieces are colored in out of 12, which means you'd have 3/12 colored in. And you can see there that the blue takes up the same amount of space. But what you've got to figure out is which one of these statements is how you would turn that 1/4 into 3/12. So A says add 3 to the numerator only. Well, think about it. If I add 3 to this, my new fraction is going to say 1 plus 3, which is 4. My bottom number is not changing, so it's going to say 4/4. That doesn't match what I want it to match. I want it to say 3/12. So I know that first one's not right, so I shouldn't have picked that one. Next one says multiply only the numerator by 3. Again, we've talked a lot about whatever you do to the numerator or the top, you've also got to do to the bottom. So if you're only multiplying the numerator by 3, 1 times 3 is 3. Your bottom number is still a 4. Yeah, that doesn't match this fraction over here. So I shouldn't have picked that one either. Next one says add 3 to the numerator and add 3 to the denominator. Well, if I do that, now my fraction is going to say 1 plus 3, which is 4. And I'm going to do 4 plus 3 on the bottom, which is 7. Again, that doesn't match 3/12, so I shouldn't have picked that one. And the last one says multiply the numerator by 3 and multiply the denominator by 3. Well, if I do that, I know 1 times 3 is going to be 3. And I know 4 times 3 is going to be 12. So D is your correct answer. Remember, we talked about multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same number. That's making an equivalent fraction. You're cutting up your pieces to make them more or make them smaller. So I cut this blue piece here into 3 smaller ones. So I multiplied it by 3. I also cut all the other pieces in this fraction into small pieces. All right, question 8 says select the 3 expressions that have a product of 6/12. So go through and solve which ones of those would be 6/12. Yeah, if I go through and look at these, again, you're just multiplying the whole number times the numerator. Bottom number staying the same. So 3 times 2 would be 6. Bottom number is 6/4. That doesn't match. Next one, I'm doing 3 times 2. Well, that would be 6. Bottom number's a 12. That matches what I wanted it to at the beginning. So I know I would pick that one. That's a good one. Okay, I'm looking at the next one here. It says 5 times 1 and just the top. So 5 times 1 would be 5. Bottom number staying the same. 5/12 doesn't match the one they want me to look for. Next one says 6 times 1/12. Again, 6 times 1 would be 6. 12 doesn't change. That one looks good. It matches. Next one down says 6 times 1/2. Well, if I do that, 6 times 1 is 6. Bottom number stays at 2. That doesn't match 6/12. That's a lot bigger. And then my last one says 6 times 1/12. So again, just on the top, I'm doing 6 times 1, which is 6. 12 stays the same. So my bottom one down here, it matches 2. So I should have picked 3 answers there that were correct. All right, and then we got our bonus question here at the end. So this is your blue bonus box. Take a second there in your journals to find the minimum, the maximum, and the range. And then make sure you're answering that green question. We'll go over that one tomorrow during class. Have a good night. Make smart choices.